Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Collaboration Culture podcast. I am your host, Kimberly Winborne of Kimberly Winborne LLC. I want to welcome you to an amazing show. So I believe it's an amazing show. And then tonight's guest is going to make it pop even the more. So what I want you to do is take a moment and share to your platform. Share. I know that our guest is sharing. Be sure to take a moment and also share where you are watching from. Are you right here in Raleigh, North Carolina? Are you in North Carolina? Are you in another state, another country? Where are you watching from? And we would love to shout you out and say hello in the comments. So again, Kimberly Winborne of Kimberly Winborne LLC. I am a certified financial education instructor, author of The Debt Detox, which you can find on Amazon or my website, KimberlyWinborneLLC.com. I am the 5-year host of this podcast. It started off as Coffee and Collaborations and has transitioned to a media company called Coffee and Collaborations Media. And this is the Collaboration Culture podcast. So let me share our guest because I want to dive right in. We all have things to do, and Miss Tammie has a busy schedule. So as I just mentioned, I have Dr. Tammie T. Harris, the newly honorary doctorate given. Tammie Harris is a broker, owner, speaker, author, and coach, and she absolutely loves what she does, and you can tell it in how she does it. She inspires many. Dr. Tammie has been a licensed real estate professional since 2007 and is a member of the North Carolina Association of Realtors and the National Associations of Realtors. She is the CEO of Tammie Harris Real Estate Firm with 3 locations in Raleigh, North Carolina. And so this firm's specialties include full brokerage services, listing and buying options, residential single-family homes, multifamily homes, commercial vacant land, estate sales, and working with investors. And since she has launched the Tammie Harris Real Estate Firm, she has taken the real estate world to the next level in Raleigh, Durham, Cary, Knightdale, Rocky Mount, Wilson, Wake Forest, and far beyond. And they also serve out of state clients. So for those who are out of state looking for an expert in the area, her firm is the place to go. I love that she calls herself a generational wealth builder in spirit and is often referred to as the Wonder Woman of real estate. We got to see that in a picture. And the Oprah of real estate, both of which cause her to smile in wonder. The firm's motto is "We help you move with purpose." And her spirit of excellence, she models this in everything that she does. Tammie is an amazing woman of God. She is a big dreamer. As a result of that, she founded Dream Builders Investment Group, Dream Big, specializing in land development and subdivision acquisition, Tammie Harris Coaching, and home of the Sell and Grow Rich Academy for realtors and entrepreneurs. So she has a background in pastoring, therapy, and so much more. This woman is a powerhouse. house. And so I am excited to introduce you to her. So for those of you who are just meeting her for the first time, you are going to be blown your socks are going to be knocked off. For those of you who are familiar with her, I hope that you look forward to our time together. So let's bring on Dr. Tammie. I'm going to call you Dr. Tammie.
Hey, so excited.
Yes, I'm excited to have you. Okay, so we already have some people in the audience. Dr. Tammie is fire. Yes. Okay. Mona Patrick Grady is hands round of applause and a little dance on the end. Get it, Tammie. All right. So I said a lot about you, and I want to dive right in because I know our time is short. Can you talk to us about the how, Dr. Tammie? How are you able to do all of these things that you do and do them so well? Because we're talking about leadership tonight. You guys, we're in our Voice of Leadership series. I asked Dr. Tammie to join me because I follow her and I believe she's a leader, and I've been connected with her for quite some time now. And so what better person to have on? So how do you do all of this and so in such excellence?
Wow, wow. Well, first and foremost, Kimberly, what an honor to be on your platform. Thank you for trusting me with your audience. I am honored to be here. And how do I do all these things? I keep asking myself the same thing, but what drives me more than anything is passion. I
Mhm.
am literally excited every morning to get up because I'm doing the things that I know I've been ordained to do. And that is
Yeah.
to build people up, that is to inspire, and that is to say, hey, if a little country girl, daughter of a sharecropper, grew up poor in a trailer parks, can come in these streets hot and be excited about life, I can help somebody else do that. So that keeps getting me up. And so some days I feel like I have tons of energy until the end of the night. And I'm like, Lord, I'm tired.
I bet. So and that's one of the things I want to talk about. Like, how are you starting and ending your day so that you remain effective? Because with all of the various hats that you wear, even just in Tammie Harris Real Estate Group, not even going over to Dream Big, how are you able to really manage your time or prioritize within your time?
Great question. You know, I have what I call a control manual, and everybody who's part of any of the organizations that I oversee, I train them how to have a control manual. And in my control manual, I have a daily schedule. So I know for the most part what my day is going to look like. I get up every day the same time. I work out a certain number of days a week the same time. I have a routine, you know, and if you look at anybody who's pretty successful, they have a routine. They're not just hitting and missing and thinking about what they're going to do. My gratitude list, I start out thinking about what I'm grateful for. As soon as my feet hit the floor, I'm grateful, I'm thankful, you know, I'm sending up them prayers. And then I got great people around me that's pushing me, saying, okay, come on now, Tammie girl, you got to do the right thing, because I got a lot of people with me and depending on me. So I make sure that I have a routine, and it includes exercise, drinking lots of water, eating good most of days, and just having a good, positive outlook on life.
I love it. And I think that that's one of the key points that you just made, having a routine. As an entrepreneur, we can so easily get tossed to and fro. You know, people can assume your time if you allow them, but having a routine is one of those things that I think is cliche and you hear many people talk about it, but it definitely helps to ensure success. Now, one of the things I want to talk about, Dr. Tammie, is how much you are doing by way of PR lately. So, can you talk to us a little bit about that journey? Because for some people, it can look like it's overnight. But can you tell
Mhm.
us the work, the years, the investment in yourself, and all of those things that help you to get to the place where now you're the Oprah of real estate? Like people are asking you to be on different news stations and platforms and so forth and so on.
You know, I had a great mentor, and she is still my mentor today. But years ago, I had a great woman who have made multi-millions in the industry of real estate. And what she said to me one evening, we were flying back from Vegas. I had walked on some red carpets, had made substantial amount of money in real estate, but I still wasn't doing it the way I wanted to do it. And she says, Tammie Harris, she said, when people know who you are, they're going to want to work with you, because people want to work with those that they know, like, and trust. So in that moment, that was years ago, Kimberly, in that moment, I began to say, no more 0 days. That's like a motto. It's something that Eric Thomas says, no more 0 days. But my goal with that was, people are going to know my name. Now they're going to get tired of me, right? Because I be coming in, I be popping in, and I'm doing a video or I'm posting something about, 5 nuggets to execution, or what does a healthy mindset look like. But what I realized, if you're building something, if you're building an empire, if you are changing the world in any kind of way, you got to make sure people don't forget whatever you do. If you sell real estate, if you clean homes, if you auto detail cars, whatever it is you do, they have to remember that you're doing it. So I've been building for a long time. And, when I think about my background as, a former family preservation therapist, I was a clinical social worker, before coming into real estate, I always understood the value and the importance in connecting with people and understanding the value of interpersonal skills. So I've been building something for a long time. Yeah. So it may look like overnight, but I promise you, girl, I've been in these streets for a while.
For a minute. How did you choose real estate? Like, how did you decide that was your niche and that was where your passion and purpose lie?
Well, what happens oftentimes, we don't realize this, when something challenging happens in our life, it makes us look at things deeper. So I actually was going through a divorce. I had been with my husband for 18 years and I was starting this new life. And I thought, what would I do if I wasn't afraid? I knew people, I knew social work, I knew therapy, right? But what would I do if I wasn't afraid? I thought I would be a real estate agent. That was during the time back in 2007 when HGTV was really hot and it looked like super fun. And I said, oh, yeah, I would sell people houses. So that's how I made my transition. I was in a hard place. I was a single mom for the first time, and I needed to make more money than what I was previously making. And real estate was it. And I jumped in it, and hey, it's almost 17 years now.
Wow. Wow. And that leads me to leadership, because you're leading teams now. So you started in one space. Now you're at 17 years later and you have a team that you are leading every day. And now you're seeing the money because you're seeing that you're helping others. Can you talk to us just a little bit about that journey, growing and then scaling your business, and then what's next for you and your team?
So, when I think about real estate and I think about the opportunity for wealth building in that area of leadership, I think about people. I have a passion and a desire for people, for God's people. I've just always been like that. So I started out with just me, literally as an independent agent. And then I had a vision. I had an idea to start a team. So then I had a very good friend of mine, Michelle Wilder Baker. Yes. She was at another company. And I was like, come on, girl, let's start a team together. She's like, I don't know about that, but brought her on. So it was just Michelle and I. We were the Tammie Harris team. Wow. We kept growing because people would come to me and say, hey, I like your energy. I like what you're doing. You seem to be community focused. Can I be a part of what you're doing? Sure. Come on over. And then we had about 5 or 6 people. Then it became a group. And then after that, more people started saying, hey, I like what you're doing. I want to be a part of what you're doing. And these was hard workers, committed people who wanted to serve people with a spirit of excellence. And next thing I know, in 2020, the year of COVID, I pivot. I decided to start the Tammie Harris Real Estate Firm. Now, I wasn't planning on starting a firm. I was happy being a team and an individual agent. But when leadership is in you, sort of like you, Kim, when leadership is in you, it's like all you can do is do what you know you've been called to do. And I've been called to serve people, to be a servant leader while I'm building people up.
Yeah. Yes, you have been. Oh my goodness. One of the things that I love about you too, Tammie, is like you're like a steamroller, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And you just continue to push and push and push. So Regina Turner says, "Oh yes, Dr. Tammie. Regina, make sure you share this broadcast out so more people can know this beautiful woman." But you just push and push and push. And you mentioned going through a divorce. So despite that, that made a shift for you that propelled you into a new career, right? That you are loving and living wonderfully, lavishly, some people would say. But then COVID happened, and that actually propelled your business forward once again to a new ground. Okay. And so since then, I know I've seen you got the general contractor's license. You got just now the doctorate. You've been on various television shows and magazines, all of that. And so I know we talked about that a little bit earlier from a PR perspective, but you have to tell me, I know you have your day that you map out. What is that one thing though that you have to do in order to continue to push in spite of?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. You know, I am a visualizer. I
Mhm.
visualize my life. I think about when I'm laying in bed, I'm looking at myself walking across a stage. If I have an
Mhm.
appointment where I'm speaking, I see myself sitting in front of today. I sat in front of a seller, an
Mhm.
investor who have hundreds of acres who reached out to me and wanted to meet with me. And before I got to that appointment, I visualized myself at the table explaining what it is that we do, who I am, how we can benefit her, how we
Mhm.
can build subdivisions if that's what she wants. So really, truthfully, I visualize a whole lot, seeing myself winning,
Mhm.
having high expectations of myself, and surrounding myself with people who are doing bigger things than I'm doing. Because what happens, Kimberly, if we're not careful and we're the big fish in the room and we
Mhm.
have most of the answers, then we're not growing.
Yeah.
So I find myself, I'm a coach, I coach a lot of people, but I have a couple of coaches in my life which
Mhm.
keep pushing me, asking me the hard questions. Tammie, what are you doing next? Sort of like what you asked. What is your next plans? And I'm like, can we slow down? Like I just did this now. I'm a little excited about that. But I don't stop. I just keep pushing. Like I'll give you a good example. You mentioned about the general contractor piece. So I was the
Yes.
first African American woman to graduate from Chris Pugh Builders Academy. And every Saturday, little side note, I would go in there and I was the only woman and all these men. I would take a break. I would go out and call my girlfriends. Y'all single women say y'all looking for some men. It's some men in these general contractor streets. But nevertheless, so even with that, I realized I haven't even sat to take the state exam. I'm just going to tell you that I completed everything that I needed to complete, but I've been so busy with other things that I
Mhm.
haven't even completed that. But the reason why I'm saying that, I'm also listening and beckoning unto God. What
Mm.
is your next steps for me?
Yeah.
Like I knew I had some other things that I needed to get done, so I put that on hold. So I'm listening. I am a good listener to God's Holy Spirit to lead and guide me in what needs to happen next.
Yeah, yeah. Let's speak to that because that's a great pin point to expound upon. The power of faith and how
Mm.
significant that is in your life. As an entrepreneur, I talk about it, it is a part of my purpose to talk about my relationship with God, especially in relation to being an entrepreneur. That's really big for me. Is that something that you do as a part of your core values? Do you talk about God and your relationship with Him with your clients, or just how open are you when it comes to sharing your faith or not?
Kimberly, the best thing that could have ever happened to me was owning my own company.
Hmm.
That's the best thing because my mission statement talks about God. My values, my core principles and values talk about God. So owning my
Yeah.
own company, Tammie Harris Coaching,
Hmm.
Dream Builders, whatever I'm doing, whatever my hand is in, I don't necessarily quote scriptures, but my conversation is, man, God is good to me. Let's pray. In our staff
Yeah.
meetings with the real estate piece, we pray before the meetings and we pray at the end. But I can do that, and nobody can tell me I can't do that. And the reason why I started out saying I grew up a little girl, daughter of sharecroppers, lived in the projects, lived in the trailer park, but I saw the hand of God move in my life mightily. And I realized where my help comes from. And so I don't apologize for it. I don't try to explain it. I just be it. So I'm not necessarily preaching. I am ordained to preach as a pastor, but I'm not necessarily preaching. I'm just living my life, and it just kind of oozes out of me.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand. And with that, with leading a team, with having potentially a diverse group, not quite sure exactly the full extent of your team, but how do you inspire your team to connect with your goals, whether it's the overall core values of faith and all of that, but your goals overall as a company, as a leader? How do you inspire your team to connect with your goals? I think this is a key thing for those who are entrepreneurs or leading teams to gain from this time together.
Well, people don't care how much you know. They care about the fact that you care about them.
Yes.
And so I embrace my team as my family. I listen to some of their thoughts and their ideas. I ask them questions. I make sure I'm articulating the vision when things are shifting and changing. Before Facebook hear about it, my team hear about it. We stay connected through in community involvement activities, because when you're doing other things other than working with your teammates, you get to know each other a little bit better, whether it's a dinner, whether it's a cookout, whether it's a community backpack buddy program that we're involved in, or Rise to Hunger. So we stay connected on a level where I'm listening to them, where I'm being involved with them, where when I'm having in my coaching business, where I'm having all these master classes, seminars, and boot camps, they get to come to that for free. Other people have to pay for it. But my team, if you're part of the Tammie Harris Real Estate Firm, hey, babe, just show up. So it gives value back to them, so they know that I don't just want something from them, but I want to give something back.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's powerful. Back to what you were saying, when people know, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. One of the things, as a Black woman, first of all, as a woman, but as a Black woman, you talked about having your own business and how that's one of the best things you ever did. But you were in other spaces prior to this, and you still, that hasn't changed. You're still a Black woman. So have you ever experienced misogyny in business, or the intersection of racism and sexism? And if so, how did you overcome that throughout your career?
I would have to say yes to it. In both careers, when I was a clinical family preservation specialist, clinical social worker, I had a white male that I supervised, and he so wanted my job. Everybody knew he wanted my job, but I was pretty young. I was in my 20s, but God had risen me to success, and he was, in his 50s, and a great person, but he just could not understand why I was elevated at the level that I was, when he had the same criteria to some degree to fit the job, but maybe just not the personality. And, early on, that bothered me, because I grew up as the type of person where I wanted everybody to be happy, but my skin toughened up. So over years, I learned boundaries, honey. The word boundary means a lot to me, and no is a one word. You don't have to add more to it. So over time, I learned that I had to articulate in a way that was respectful, that no, I'm your supervisor. They didn't give you the job, but it wasn't easy. And then when I got into real estate, I ran into another male. I never had any issues with females. Most people say it's the females that they have a problem with, but I started working with another male. And one day he told me, He was my supervisor in real estate. He said, I just don't know what to do with you. He said, they're calling you, the organization that we work for, the VPs
Mm-hmm.
wanted people to do presentations and they were asking me, and he was my supervisor. And I didn't know why they were asking me. And I would try to pull him in on it and he would get mad with me. And he said, I don't know what to do with you. And I'm telling you, when he told me that day, I said, you know what? It seems like people don't know what to do with me. So I need to go somewhere and start my own mess.
Right.
And so that's actually when I started my own team,
Mm-hmm.
with the Remax brand. So yeah, I ran into that, and he was not, of my race as well. And some of it was sexism, some of it was racism, some of it was just my energy. I come
Mm-hmm.
in with good energy, and that's just who I am. And sometimes when people are not like you, they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. Yep. That's so very true. And so starting your own business, was that something that you wanted to create an opportunity for women so that they didn't run into that? Or what is it? Is the found is are more of the people in the Tammie Harris group female, or do you have a good combination? And if so, which direction, what made you decide to operate in that way?
Well, we have had several men in our organization. I think right now we have one male realtor, and we
Mhm.
love men, so we would love to have more. But the majority have been females. I don't think I planned out like that. I
Mhm.
just think I just began to attract people that was like-minded.
Yeah.
Someone recently asked me, why do everybody in your real estate firm look like you? And it's not that I planned it like that. I welcome all hardworking people who care about God's people and want to help family move with purpose. I've had other people in my organization that did not look like my complexion, but I
Mhm.
think you attract kind of like who you are. You
Yeah.
attract the type of people that want to be around your energy. As far as having majority of women and majority that are African American, it just happened to work that way. But I'm open to people that want to serve people and understand that you want families to move with purpose. This is not just about making money. This is about building lives. This is about
Yeah.
bridging the economic gap. And those are the kind of people that I want to work with.
Yes, yes. And we've talked about breaking barriers, like I call you a trailblazer. And as you're continuing to complete things and overcome challenges and do new things, I think you're inspiring many. We talked about connecting, creating goals, the team and all of that. What is one of the worst things that you've had to overcome, and how did you overcome that?
Wow. Wow. I would just be transparent in a moment and share a personal story. I have two children in heaven. I have Kayla, who's in heaven, and I have Jason. I
Mm.
had a miscarriage with Jason. I was about, maybe 10 weeks. And with Kayla, I birthed her. She was a stillborn. I was 22 weeks. And
Mm.
when I worked as a clinical supervisor with social services, and she's up here. She and I used to work together, and I worked in foster care and adoptions and child protective services and work first. I was one of those people that love, and still do love children. And I wanted like 10, but I knew I wasn't going to have 10. So when I lost those children, that shifted how I saw life and how I saw things. And I say this because I'm a believer, what the enemy meant for evil, God have a way of working it for your good. And
Yeah.
even in that, I started the Kayla J Foundation. I don't talk a lot about that, but that's a foundation that I am the chairwoman of, where we give back to, mothers, single moms who have children who are going back to school. They may need, clothing, they may
Mhm.
need school supplies and things of that nature. But that was a hard season for me. I thought I would never laugh again. And oh my God, I'm
Mm.
laughing, I'm
Yeah.
smiling, I'm excited because I know my children are in heaven, and they cheer me on. Like I get up, I be like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna make them proud. But I think
Yeah.
that was one of the hardest things that I ever had to go through.
Yeah. And you were able to overcome that with support of others, or what would you say was the main thing that helped you to overcome that?
I think the main thing was just my faith and continuing to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Bad things do happen to good people. Yes, I was mad at God and, why me? I worked in foster care and adoptions. I would have took those kids home because I love children. So I went through that phase, but just realizing that it's called life. And one of
Mm-hmm.
my coaches says, life be lifing. And
Life
so
be
why
life.
should I think that life wouldn't be lifing on me? But
Mm-hmm.
I realized life be lifing, but God be God. So through my
Yes.
faith, through therapy, I tell people I love God and I love therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so
Yes.
through therapy and then just having people around you that will encourage you to keep moving forward. I think that's key. I was talking to someone last night and we were talking about support groups. I'm all
Mm-hmm.
about support groups, where you can
Yeah.
support one another. But if I'm in a support group and we all sad and every week we sad, now I can't be part of that because I got to be bringing my energy level up.
Right. I missed some of the comments. I want to, okay, trailblazer extraordinaire.
Oh.
And she also said, life be lifing, but God be God. A quote from Tammie Harris. Yes. And so I love, I love that you shared that. And thank you for your transparency. Not
Mhm.
everybody will, but as we know, it is our testimonies that help others and our stories that help others. Because I think a lot of times people do feel alone, that they're the only person going through certain things. And it does take leaders like yourself to remind us that, I'm going through too, but I am going to get through. I am going to overcome this, and I can, so you can too. One of the things that I want to talk about is, as a part of that journey of overcoming, journey of continuing to be a trailblazer. Well, first I want to ask a question.
Mhm.
When you think about the big picture for you, you said that you sat back and you drew out your vision, and you continue every year to rethink that and all of that. What is something that we can look forward to? Like, what is a program, or something that we can look forward to, that maybe we can attach ourselves to you, or that you're looking forward to sharing?
Absolutely. If anybody know anything about me, I love to say breaking news coming
Breaking
soon.
news. Okay.
I love that, but I'm on the wonderful Kimberly platform, so I'll share one thing that's coming down the pipeline that I'm super super excited about. I've been calling myself the Oprah of real estate for a long time, and I love people and I love to talk and
Yeah.
share. And so July will be my birthday. I'll be turning 55. So I was super excited to accept an opportunity to do an online TV show
Woo!
that's coming down the pipeline. I haven't
Yes.
announced, but I guess it's announced now. But
We
I'm
got it here first.
yes, breaking news. But I'm excited about that for the opportunity to talk about
Yes.
mindset to millions. I live to tell
Hmm.
the story. I'm going to have people like Kimberly on who will
Thank you.
come. Yes, ma'am. Come and share, how did you get through life? Mindset to
Hmm.
millions. I'm an author in a great book. And
Hmm.
and it talks about, my chapter talks about mindset to million. I live to tell the story, and that's what the platform of the TV show is going to be
Hmm.
about. How to get from A to Z, how to shift your mindset to understand that you belong at the table, to understand that you don't have to compare yourself to others, to get rid of the that crab in the bucket
Yeah.
mentality, and so forth and so on. So I don't want to give it all away, but that's one thing I'm excited about. And then another thing I'm super excited about, because I'm on Kimberly's show, I'll share it. I have a clothing line coming out. So super, super
Awesome.
excited about that. That's something that my mom and I are doing together. Most people know I love clothes. I
Hmm.
grew up so poor and didn't have an opportunity to, buy a lot of clothes, and used to shop
Hmm.
at secondhand stores and
Yeah.
Salvation Army and yard sales. I mean, that's how poor we were. And so I like clothes, but what my mom has decided that she wants to do, because she's the real queen and she's the boss of me.
Okay.
She told me we're going to have a jewelry line, we're going to have a clothing line. And so we've been working with someone, with shirts and hoodies and pants and things of that nature with some of my branding on it. So I'm excited. Those are two things that I can announce right now that I'm excited about.
Well, as you saw, congratulations were passed out everywhere in the comments, and I echo that sentiment. Congratulations. One of the things we talked about when you first came on was that shirt, all that bling over there. All of that. Yes. So I love seeing your outfits. Like, I love seeing how you put things together. So I cannot wait to see this line. I love the mother-daughter component of that. So I cannot wait. And then the online show and just everything that we got today. And I just look forward to the more. Someone said, looking forward to your new line. So we cannot wait. Yes, we cannot wait. And before we close, we got to talk about what the show is about, which is the voice of leadership, right? The voice of leadership. One of the things that I want to ask you, you got somebody here. Hey, cousin. So proud. That's Donovan Thorne. So your cousin. We love family. So gotta can't move forward without shouting out, letting your family shout out their love. All right. So one of the things I want to ask you as far as your voice. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this show is because a lot of times in today's time, and this is no judgment to anybody, but we see people carrying the title of leader, but not walking in leadership principles. And we see a lot of hurt folks as a result. I believe that each one of us who has been called to leadership, who has taken the step to walk into that role, then understands that there is an assignment and there are duties and there are things and skills development, all of those things that are attached to it. So this voice of leadership, there is a voice, whether it's a good voice, a not good voice, a loud voice, a soft voice, an impactful voice, a stripping voice, whatever it is, there is a voice to leadership. So I want to ask you, what is your voice? What is the significance of your voice to you and having a leadership voice overall?
I think the significance of my voice is I understand who I am. So therefore, I can help build others, their platforms, who they are as people, without being afraid, without being intimidated. I understand the value of people. If you are building an empire, you need people around you that may even be smarter than you in certain areas. And I don't see that as fear or intimidation or, an imposter syndrome. I haven't always been here. I grew up as this little girl with low self-esteem, insecure, didn't feel like I fitted in, and all of that above. But the value of my leadership is I value people, and anybody who's in my circle, they know, and my cousins, they can tell you from kids on up, I've always wanted people to know that they were liked, they were loved, they were accepted. We can share ideas together. And I think that's what's missing in leadership. A lot of people feel like, if I give this person part of my platform, it's going to somehow take away from me. No, it's not. It's going to build them up. It's going to build you up. And so I think when people think about Tammie Harris leadership, they think, wow, she really loved all the people that are around her. And it's the truth. It's nothing phony about it.
And that's one of the things that I think is most powerful about what you said, the authenticity, because when you know who you are and you can walk in your own identity and then have a confidence right there, then you don't have an air of competition. You don't think through the lens of competition. You're not afraid of somebody stepping into your platform that does the exact same thing and stealing folks. Like, that's one of the tricks that we run into, the things that keep us separated, right? When we could be together. And so I got a couple of comments. Powerful question. Thank you, B. But then also so true. Shanika says so true. And so I really think that that's really great. That's awesome that that is the voice that you carry. One that really says, let's collaborate, let's work together, let's support each other. Let's not try to walk in anybody else's shoes and be imposters, but let's be authentic in our own self identity so that we can be impactful in the way that we need to be impactful. That's what I got from what you just said. Now, there's a lot of noise though. As you know, there's a lot of noise. There's a lot of people saying a lot of stuff and they're real confident in it, right? So, how can we as leaders, you as a leader, penetrate and make an impact through the noise?
You know, sometimes people say things to me like, oh my goodness, you got haters. I be like, really? They'll say things like, what do you think about what somebody said? It's none of my business. Like, I don't listen to the noise. You know, there's a scripture says, think on those things which are good, which are pure, which are wholesome. That's what I think on when I tell people who are in my circle, if you're in any group and anybody's being negative or petty or saying things that are not helpful or beneficial as it relates to me, number one, you don't have to defend me. Right. Number two, don't come back and tell me because I'm not interested. Because I also believe, Kimberly, that the power of words are very powerful. So Cindy Trim says this, right? If someone says something negative about Kimberly Winborne, let's just say they say something really whack. Let's say, even if it's true, she said, when you're telling your story, don't repeat that. She said, it's something significant about when you're putting words in the atmosphere. And have you noticed if someone hurt you and you replay the tape of what was said or done, you feel a little sting? Yeah. Even almost like you experience it again. Over and over again. So I don't listen to a lot of noise. Matter of fact, to be frank with you, I occasionally tune into news so I'll know how to pray. But I don't listen to too much of that noise either, because you'll find yourself oppressed and depressed. Absolutely. And I make sure I got people around me when noise is happening. They're building me up. They're saying, come on, Tammie, you can do it. And just like B. Jacqueline, she knows she's awesome. She's doing a lot of things in the community too. And leaders must understand that in order to lead well, we cannot be subject to what people think and feel and what they're saying, because it's just noise.
Yes, it's just noise. But you know, that is definitely a leadership skill. I remember years ago reading a book around that, like kind of like Toughen Up. I think that was the name of the book, actually. Toughen Up, because as a leader, and you know, I have to check myself all the time because I'm kind of like a people person and I love everybody, and you know, and then sometimes I have to go into my little shell and come back out like, oh, okay, I'm all right now, but that bruise hurt just a little bit. But I've had to toughen up in order to walk into the level of leadership that I am assigned and called into. And somebody said empty noise. And then Regina, hey Regina, I'm sorry, I keep saying somebody said because I'm reading the comment prior to putting it up. So respect to you. And then B. Jacqueline Jeter, leaders don't chase the wind, they allow it to fuel their sails. That's absolutely true. Because if we do chase the, oh my gosh, we'll be blown to and fro. But I really love this time together, and I want to give you an opportunity to share anything that you have coming up, anything that we need to know. And then also I have down at the bottom your website and then how to connect with you through IG. Is there anything else that you want me to share? If so, you can go ahead and share that as we begin to wrap up, because I know you have something else that you need to get over to.
Thank you. Thank you so much again, Kimberly, for having me on your platform. And I want to say to all of those who are listening, whether it's on a repeat I want to say, we have lots going on with the Tammie Harris Real Estate Firm, with the Tammie Harris Coaching, with Dream Builders Investment Group, with Kayla J Foundation, with New Seed Ministries. We have a lot going on. I know we have a home buyer seller seminar coming up on June 24th. And I'm on Facebook all the time. Instagram, I'm old, y'all. I'm still learning Instagram, right? But I be tearing up Facebook. But if you take a look at the Tammie Harris Facebook, even the Tammie Harris Real Estate Firm Facebook, you'll see a lot of things that is happening for us. I'm super excited. One thing I do want to announce, we believe in giving back. We believe in growing our youth up to understand that entrepreneurship is a good thing for them. Everybody won't go to college, but they can if that's what they want. And I want to say, we just today got the official email to Tammie Harris Real Estate Firm. We are actually sponsoring a paid internship through Durham County Schools. My COO, Christina Isaac, she pulled that together for us. So if people want to know how they can be involved in that, they can, email us at info@tammiehgroup.com. We're going to have a big thing at the end about that. If you want to participate, if you want to donate, we're going to shout you out. So it's always wonderful things going on. Last thing I'll share, in the Tammie Harris Coaching, the home of Sell and Grow Rich Academy. We got a listing mastery boot camp. Look on my page. That's going to be coming up. We will have the opportunity also. We're going to be starting a new 12-week program, Sell and Grow Rich. And I'm telling you right now, we're going to be coming in hot, y'all, because I'm teaching and training some great things and how to take your career, whether you're a realtor or entrepreneur, to the next level.
Oh, so awesome. Also awesome. So I hope you all got all of that. I want to thank our beautiful special guest this evening, Dr. Tammie Harris. Continue to follow her. The information is scrolling across the screen. And then on Facebook, the Tammie Harris Real Estate Firm. Make sure to stay connected. I want to thank you for joining this evening. I'm going to go ahead and allow you to go. Once again, love you so much. And I can't wait to see you in person, hopefully very soon. So
yes, and I love you. And Kimberly, again, thank you for bringing me to your platform. I appreciate you. You always are adding value in our communities, and I'm proud to call you friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mwah. Same
Bye-bye.
here. Bye-bye. So I just have a couple of announcements. Dr. Tammie has another engagement. And so I wanted to be sure to have her on. I hope you found value in our time together. I'm going to go ahead and share with you just a couple of things and then let you know. I want you to join next week. All right. So next week, we have another leader in this series, and his name is Dr. Eric Williams. You will want to be here. You will want to be here. He was the curator of the National Smithsonian Museum of African American History, right? So he is going to be here next week. I'm excited to have him. Let's see. We got a couple of comments. Oh, thank you. Great broadcast. Good evening, Sharania. Thank you for joining. But I want to share with you what we have coming up. Okay. So just a couple of announcements, and then we are going to be done for the evening. I want to thank everybody for joining this evening. This was an awesome, awesome, awesome show with Dr. Tammie Harris. Oh my gosh, I love her. Don't y'all love her? Who love her? Who had a really great time listening and learning from Dr. Tammie? I'm going to tell you I did, and I cannot wait to continue to see all that she is going to do. So, as I stated, next week we have Dr. Eric Williams. For those of you who are able to join, we'll be right back here. That is the flyer. We'll be right back here on next Tuesday, 7 o'clock p.m. with guest Dr. Eric Williams. So go ahead and mark your calendars. Okay. Go ahead and mark your calendars for next week. All right. I'm excited about that because this is going to be a wealth of knowledge sitting here with me. Okay. Anybody that's interested in being on the podcast, anybody that's interested in getting your brand marketed through the podcast or any of the Coffee and Collaborations media channels, please reach out to me or the company, and the information is scrolling across the screen here. info@coffeeandcollaborations.com. We're going to be doing this leadership series through the summer. So if you know of any leaders that you are like, they have to be on, you got to interview this person, you got to have a conversation, please email me, reach out to us, let me know, and I will reach out to them and have them on. Yes, thank you, Regina. Love her too. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Tammie. It's in the comments. Multitasking, she's brilliant. But yes, so if you know of another leader, please have them to reach out to me. So sorry. Please have them to reach out to me, or you reach out to me and let me know. So on this Monday, for anybody that's not doing anything for Juneteenth, yes, I'm pushing buttons over here, y'all. Forgive me. But anybody that's not doing anything for Juneteenth and or would like to switch up your day, this is going to be an amazing event. The Gathering, Dr. Eric Williams is going to be there, and then I'm going to interview him the next night on the Tuesday show live. So you get 2 opportunities to meet him. But for this, he's going to be a speaker, Dr. Lafayette Maxwell over at Shaw University. We have J. Dwayne Garnett of Love is a Parable that's going to be a part of this. We have Alvin Ailey, dancer and choreographer, international choreographer, Carrie Lynn Youngkin, Kimberly Woods McGee. And then we're going to have hymns, song, Negro spirituals, everything for this gathering. This is a celebration of the history of the African American church from roots to resurgency. So I would love to have you to join us next Monday for Juneteenth. This is going to be a dynamic celebration. I'm so excited about it. And that's it. That's our time. For those who would like more information on how to register for that event, also reach out to me. You can also go to theprayingceo.com. I'm going to put that on the screen. You could go right over there and go to events and resources, and you can register. Go to theprayingceo.com, events and resources, or resources and events, and register. Okay. All right, awesome. I was looking for something good to go to. Oh, it would be great, because then I can get my hug, Tammie. I can get my hug on Monday. So I'll send you the link personally so that you can register. All right, you all have an amazing rest of your evening. Next Tuesday, June 20th, right back here. If I don't see you at the event, I will look forward to seeing you right back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. with our next guest, Dr. Eric Williams. Okay? You all have a great rest of your evening, and continue to have a spirit of collaboration. Create a culture and a community wherever you are of collaboration. And the leader, something I learned a long time ago, the leader creates the culture. The leader creates the culture. And so what culture are you creating? This is something that we can all think of. What culture are you creating? What's going on in your culture? And what are you doing in order to make a difference and or impact that in a positive or negative way? The leader creates the culture, you all. So how are you leading? That's what we're talking about in our Voice of Leadership series, which we will continue once again next Tuesday at 7 p.m. All right. Have a great night.
This has been a Coffee and Collaborations media production.